Hello, it's another edition of Welcome to My Kitchen, and my name is Baba Hammond, your host. Today we are talking about your guts and you. You don't want to miss this. So please share the link, call a friend, call a loved one, and let's educate ourselves. We are supported by Handy Honey. So for your organic honey, kindly pick the number on the screen, contact Justice, and he will take care of you. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. So to have the education with me is Prince Appiagyei. Welcome, sir. How are you? You are coping, eh? We have to. Thank you so much for coming. I would like you to introduce yourself to my viewers.
Okay. So my name is Dr. Prince Alex Appiagyei Osei. I'm a clinical pharmacist by profession, a software engineer, a data science analyst, and a founder and CEO of Digimat Online Groceries. Basically, yeah, that's what I do.
Wow. A founder and what?
CEO, yeah, I mean.
Of what?
Digimat Online Groceries.
What's that all about?
So Digimat Online Groceries is something that I brought up based on how my lifestyle was back in school. So I don't buy food from outside. If I'll buy food from outside, probably it would be kinky or fried yam. I like to eat what I cook because I want to make sure that whatever is going into my food is something that I approve of. And so way back in school, I made sure I was cooking for like a week or two. And I mean, going to class 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, making sure you are studying after class, going to church, was stressful. So it meant that I had to have a time when I do all the cooking. And so I'll do all the cooking on Sundays. But I was in the choir, I was in the AY. So it was very, very cumbersome, especially when you have to go to the market. Buying food stuff on campus was also very expensive. So throughout my 6 years stay on campus, I mean, I went through it very Herculean task, but I tried to manage. When I was in city, I was asking myself, what if there was a way where people can do the same thing without stressing themselves? What if it's affordable, it's available as quick as it can be, and then it presents no stress to you at all? So I put some other friends together, we built an app, and then we started a business. Yeah.
Interesting. I see. We'll talk about it again.
Yes, please.
All right, so today our topic is your guts and you. Where is the gut located in the body?
So when we talk about the gut, the space, as much as possible, I'll try and use plain language so that, the space between your last rib.
Your last rib?
Your last rib and your pelvis. That is your gut.
Your gut.
Yes. But sometimes we talk about viscera. So for instance, when you kill, for those who are not vegetarian, when you kill a goat or any mammal, you see that what we call yemadie, you see what they call towel and all those things.
The intestine.
Yeah, so that is what we call viscera.
Okay.
Because that will include the liver, the gallbladder and all. But when we talk about the gut, we're just talking about your stomach,
the colon,
so the small intestine, the large intestine, which we call the colon, the space between the stomach and the small intestine, which is your duodenum and jejunum. Yeah, so basically that is your gut. Yeah, basically.
How important is the gut to the entire body?
Think about the fact that whatever you need to get into your blood, if it is not passing directly into the veins, it will have to pass through the stomach. Okay. I mean the gut. And so if it is energy, how are you getting energy? It is through your gut. If it is medicines, how are you getting it? If it is not through the veins or through the anus, it is through the gut. Even when it is through the anus, it's because it's the gut, but it's passing through the rectum. And so basically anything that gets into us, whether it's food or poison, basically gets into our body through our gut.
I see. Yeah. So unhealthy guts translates into unhealthy body?
And even unhealthy mind.
Unhealthy mind.
Because whatever we are eating makes us, whether it's protein, carbohydrates, fats, it goes into us to do a lot more than we think it does. Even how our hormones are regulated are sometimes controlled by what we eat. Yeah.
So it's very important that we take good care
Yeah, very, very important.
of our guts
Very, very important.
through what we eat, what we drink,
And how we even eat it.
and how we. Can you talk on that?
So I don't only believe in temperance, but it is something that is in medicine, just that we don't readily see it. We talk about all the fruits that we need to eat, but if you have ulcer, do you really have to eat pineapple?
Or
But
lemon?
pineapple is good. It has all the antioxidants that you need to build against infections. But if you have ulcer, can you take it? No. And so these things are what I talk about, like how you should even eat it. Let's say we are talking about carrots today, and carrots is very healthy. We'll be talking about it.
Yeah.
But how do you eat it to get the specific effect? If you are eating it for its bulk forming activity, should you boil it? Should you eat it raw? All these things are part of the whole thing. So you may know that carrot has all these things, but how do I get it? Depends on how you eat it and how often you
eat it.
Yeah.
And how well you masticate the food as well.
Exactly.
Because some of us, we just, put the food in
our
and
mouth.
push it down. And obviously, I don't know if we think we have some kind of machine in there that will, work on the food that we've pushed down there. But then it's important we learn how
very
to eat
important.
and eat well. Does unhealthy gut affect the brain?
Yes, it always does.
It's always.
Basically, there are what we call our normal flora. When we talk about normal flora, they are the bacteria in our gut that are good. So you hear some people saying, I'm going to buy probiotic yogurt, I'm going to buy prebiotic yogurt.
Yeah.
It's because we want to make sure that the bacteria in our stomach that is good is working. Now, some nutrients that the brain needs can only be gotten if you have a healthy gut. That means if the bacteria that is supposed to be in your stomach to do the good things is working. I don't know if you have heard of someone who has a big head before. I mean, children are born with very big heads,
Yes,
which we
yes.
call hydrocephalus. All of us do not have hydrocephalus because there is a drainage from our brain into our GI, which is our gut.
Okay.
So that the draining happens and we don't see. So we don't have the fluid accumulating. With those children, there is a blockage, and so the fluid doesn't drain. And so the solution is that we'll do surgery and to pass a hole and connect a tube to your stomach. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
I've
say.
seen it.
So if your gut is not healthy, then it affects your brain in lots more ways than you can ever think of. One, about the absorption that happens in your gut, because the brain uses about 120 grams of the 140 grams glucose the body uses every day. Number two, about the bacteria and how the good bacteria is getting the nutrients that your brain needs. And number three, about the drainage of the fluid that is in your brain. So for the stomach, maybe we have not really paid attention to it, but it's one of the most important parts of our body, forming the whole gut. Yeah.
How do we prevent unhealthy guts? What should we do?
How do we prevent unhealthy guts? Let's take it from first principles. The first thing is that you need to watch what you eat. So we talk about balanced diet every time.
Balanced diet.
But what is really a balanced diet?
Tell us.
If I am eating wache with a protein, which you choose, the wache is made up of rice, which is a cereal, which is a carbohydrate. It has beans, which is a protein. Maybe you are adding gari, which is also carbohydrates. You are adding spaghetti, which is also carbohydrates. You have a little bit of shito. I mean, minerals and vitamins will be in the shito. It will have some fiber, depending on what was used to make the shito, and maybe the stew. But the carbohydrate itself is also fiber. So now let's look at it. With all the things I've mentioned, if you didn't add vegetables, what are you eating? Is it balanced?
No.
A balanced diet should have all the required proportions in their right amount. And so what we eat is very important. so that you don't take 2 balls of banku, and then when you are done, you didn't even drink the soup.
No.
Losing all the vitamins.
Yeah.
So you make sure that, okay, whatever meal that I'm taking, I make sure I'm having all the required nutrients in their right proportions.
Let's see.
Yeah. That is the first thing. But that aside, when you eat is also very important.
When you eat.
Yeah. So the first thing is what you eat. When you eat. We'll talk about the how you eat it.
Okay.
But now let's talk about the when. You wake up in the morning and you decide to skip breakfast. And so you eat, let me not even say brunch, because brunch is supposed to be between 9 and 10. But you eat around 11, 12, and you want to call it brunch. So imagine you are going through a very stressful day, because when the body wakes up, the body doesn't have eyes. I mean, the eyes are for you, but technically the body doesn't have eyes. So it uses the moon and the sun to regulate. Okay. So when the sun is out, the body thinks, oh, it's day. I need to produce the hormones. I need to produce the things that the body needs to work. And then unfortunately, you've not eaten. So it is using other means to generate the energy that you need. Now, when you eat, you've eaten at say 12, and okay, so that energy has come. But you eat your next meal at 4. So between 12 and 4, you've eaten twice. That's just 4 hours difference. Well, some people will argue that the gut takes about 4 hours to empty. So the food that you ate at 12 has already left, and the 4 that you are eating is now coming.
Okay.
But then the day is ending. So the energy that you need for the rest of the day is just not going to be used. So the body will store all that. How the body stores our energy is fantastic. But how it uses the energy it has stored is very tricky. If you don't take care, you may be storing all the glucose, but instead of producing glucose the next time, you're producing other forms of energy. I mean, it can break the lipids, it can break the proteins. But when that happens, there are other things that are produced that affects you in a lot of different ways that we don't see.
So when you cultivate those habits, at the long run, you end up harming yourself.
Yes.
So what do you say about this intermittent fasting, people doing 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, so, all to, be healthy, lose weight and all that?
The thing about our bodies is this: God is so wise, and he decided to make the body adapt to a lot of things. If you decide to eat once daily and you're eating at a particular time, the body has adapted to that style. Okay. But if you decide to use 2 meals in a day, then it should be spaced out for the body enough so that the GI or the gut can rest. If you want to eat 3 times, all good, but still look at what you are eating in between and the energy demands of your body. You don't expect someone who is an office worker who sits just behind the computer the whole day to be eating wache as brunch, and then around 2 eat fufu, and around 5 take snack. You also don't expect someone who is a field worker who is doing a lot of carrying and things to eat beverage with bread at 8 and then eat banku at 5. I mean, the energy demands is not balancing. So you look at what you do and your energy demands to know how and when you should eat. Now, let's talk about the how you should eat. People will take yam and they don't chew the yam properly and they swallow. Well, technically, starch digestion starts from the mouth. And so if you are not chewing properly, when it gets to the stomach, it's going to be paused for a time. It will continue again in the small intestine, not so much. Okay. So if you are not chewing properly and you are just breaking it and swallowing it, you are not getting all the nutrients you should get. The reason why food is normally cooked is to break some of the bonds that hold the nutrients together. And so if you don't chew properly, then you're not doing the right thing. You are eating meat or fish. You've not cooked it very well. So in your eating, and protein digestion starts in the stomach. You've already drank water whilst you were eating. So you are pushing the food down faster, 1. Number 2, because the water was even cold, you are kind of arresting the activity of the enzyme, which is supposed to work at a specific temperature and a specific concentration of acid. And so the food doesn't get digested very well. So you've wasted your money because the nutrients you're getting out of it is very low. So these are some of the things I talk about when I say how you should even eat it, so that you know the food you are eating and how you should make sure that food is doing the best for you.
So does alcohol consumption affect the health of the gut?
Alcohol consumption affect the health
Let's
of the gut?
talk about smoking as well.
Okay. I never agreed in class when I was taught everybody needs a little bit of alcohol. Luckily for us, was it about a month ago, there has been a review of literature that has shown that we don't actually need to take external alcohol.
At all?
At all. Come to think of it, this thing has never been a lie, because I mean, back in school, I used to ask myself, alcohol production can be done in the body by itself.
Okay.
If I eat anything that contains glucose, I should be able to produce alcohol. If my enzymes are working properly, the enzymes are the things that are responsible for taking care of the reactions that are happening in the body. If my enzymes are working properly, then there shouldn't be a way I can't produce alcohol. So why are you telling me I need to take external alcohol? That external alcohol is absorbed, not even in the GI, along the esophagus, so that it gets to the blood faster. It causes intoxication of the brain. And so your cognition, when we talk about cognition, you're talking about your executive function of the brain. It's not done properly. But the alcohol in your body doesn't do that. Okay. So alcohol consumption, yes, affects gut health because it can cause an ulcer. I mean, gastritis, ulcer, and all that. And so why would you want to take alcohol? Now, when it comes to smoking, the smoke itself doesn't affect the gut.
The gut, okay.
But research has shown that a lot of people that get colon cancers, colorectal cancers, most of them had smoking as part of their
lifestyle,
habits.
Okay.
Though some few people have got these diseases, maybe we'll talk about when we're talking about the benefits of carrots, but they were not smokers. But most often, there is a link between the two. So, it could be the nicotine that is in the smoke. It could be the smoke itself. But at the end of the day, there is something in there that is
it's not healthy.
Linked.
I see. I've been educated. You know, I trust you have been educated as well. So this segment, we are here to educate and inform you. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll take you to the kitchen and give you a simple remedy that you can use to manage your gut if you're having any issues. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. So I welcome you into my kitchen. This is where we get to show you simple remedies that you can do at home to manage any condition you have. Today, we talked about the gut. So this juice is going to help you manage or reverse any unhealthy condition you may be experiencing. And to do this with me is still Prince. So on the table, we have watermelon, apple, and carrots. Can you give us some education on these ingredients?
Yeah, I want to start from apple.
Apple. Why apple?
We've heard most times that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And it's because apple is one of the fruits that have all the antioxidants that you need. When we talk about antioxidants, they are, so on a normal day, our body is undergoing a lot of reactions, right? Okay. Some of them are good, some of them help us to prevent diseases. But if care is not taken and these reactions are not controlled, then it can lead to other conditions we call inflammatory conditions.
Okay.
So even like the cancers, research has shown that some of these cancers are started by these reactions that I'm talking about. Apple has all the antioxidants, meaning that it has all the things that can arrest the excess of the good thing that can result in the cancers and all that. It also boosts your immune system, so it has things that will control how much your body is doing to control the infections. So you know that if you are having a cold and you take an apple, you'll be very fine. I mean, not only apple has the antioxidants and the vitamins that will help fight infections. But apple is one of the few ones that have all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, apple is something that you should try and add to your meal frequently. And adding the carrots, carrot has more to do with, so I don't know if you have ever seen someone who has night blindness before, people that do not see in the dark. It's because they lack what we call retinol. Retinol is obtained from retinoid. I mean, it's something that is in carrots and even in palm oil, but more in carrots. And so this doesn't just control how you see in the night. It also kind of has a way of controlling the things I talked about, the inflammation. We have beta carotene, which is good for the skin, but it also is very good for the gut. So it controls some things like colon cancer, like colorectal cancer, because I said that it is the inflammatory processes that I explained earlier that will lead to the cancer sometimes. So if it is controlling that, then it means we are providing a way of preventing the cancer. Apart from that, carrots have fiber. There are different types of the fiber. There is a soluble fiber and there is an insoluble fiber. The soluble fiber is going to go into the fluid or the water that is part of your meal and in your stomach. So that, for instance, if someone has diabetes, the mass is going to be produced. The person feels, oh, I am full. And so the brain controls how much of glucose is going into the body. And maybe one day when we talk about diabetes, we'll go into details, but this is a way of protecting yourself against having too much sugar in your system. And then the part that is insoluble, just like eating rice, would swell up and then would increase the bulk of your food content. And so you can easily free your bowels. If you are easily freeing your bowel, then you're also protecting yourself against some cancers, against piles. You know, a lot of people have got piles. Yeah, piles, what they call cocoa, because of constipation. If you are eating carrots, making sure that these things are present in your food, then the mass that is being produced is going to help you free your bowels, and so you don't get these problems. And I mentioned earlier that your GI is linked to your brain health. If you normally do not free your bowel, then you are predisposing yourself to having bad bacteria produce toxins that can go to your brain. So if you are eating foods that will allow you to free your bowel, then always the good bacteria is the one that is available, producing the good things that your brain needs to be very healthy. So I mean, just with the two of them, we've talked about boosting your immune system. We've spoken about maintaining the inflammatory conditions in the stomach, and we've also spoken about how the gut bacteria respond based on how it controls and helps your brain as well.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
So we know the benefits of these ingredients right here. We are going to put these two together. Now, I peeled the apples because I'm not too sure whether these are organic or not. So that's what I do. If you don't peel yours, fine. All you need to do is just wash it properly, make sure it's properly clean, and then you go ahead and juice. If you don't have a juicer, you can still use your blender to blend and take the juice out. I peeled my carrots because I'm not too sure whether it's organic or not. So even though it's neatly washed, I peel it. That's what I do. But if you're not comfortable with that, please do what is okay for you. But the most important thing is getting a healthy juice to help reverse unhealthy guts. We have watermelon here. So if you don't like apple, your alternative is watermelon. So you do watermelon and carrots, or apple and carrots, not the three. Watermelon and carrots, or apple and carrots. For 1 serving, you need 1 medium-sized apple and 1 medium-sized carrot. Correct?
Yes. That's enough for the body to use. The thing is that our body doesn't store vitamins and minerals so much, not like how it stores glucose and protein and all that. And so most of the vitamins you take, if it is not used, it comes out. So you've wasted your money. So if you eat 2 apples a day, The other one is just food, which you have wasted your money on. So if it's not just the bulk that you want, then you just want to stick to just one apple. And the carrots, this big carrots, it's just about half of it that you need. So if you eat the big one, you've wasted the money for the half. Maybe you could have reserved it for tomorrow.
I won't be full.
You won't be full.
Yeah.
That's why when you want to eat, you have to use a well-balanced diet, so that at least you're eating half a carrot, you're eating something else, balancing it to make the food complete. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So this is unadulterated, no water added, pure juice.
So I was going to say that the only difference between you chewing it and you drinking will be that the fiber in the drinking will not be so much. But I just realized you didn't add water.
No.
If you didn't add water, it means that it's just the same thing going. So
yeah,
it's just going to still have the same bulk that I would have had.
Our juice is ready. There is no added water to this juice. That's the advantage of juicing. With the blending, you may have to add some amount of water, but you can't reduce the amount of water. You still get a healthy juice out of it. So this is for two of us. Beautiful. Eh?
It looks very nice.
Very.
You can see the carrots in it.
So we advise to take this before meals, at least 30 to an hour before any meal, so that you'll be able to manage that condition properly, right?
Yeah, preferably.
Once a day, depending on the severity of your condition.
This looks very nice.
And tasty.
Wow. I think maybe I'll have to be doing more of this every day.
You should be coming here often.
Yeah, maybe. The sugar is just what should be in the apple and the carrot. You can just imagine.
And you see, you don't need to throw the pulp away. You can add it to your stew, or you can even make a tea out of it. Just add a little water, boil, strain, and you've gotten yourself a healthy tea.
Can even add it to your soup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your soup. And so we've come to the end of today's episode. It's been educative, if you should ask, right?
Yeah, very educative, even for myself, because I mean, now I'm learning how to make juice from carrots and apple.
All right. So we'll come your way next week. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and bye for now.
Okay, bye-bye.